Good afternoon, everyone. It's your girl, C. Whittington, and it's time for another CWIT session. What's a CWIT session? I'm so glad you asked. A CWIT session is a pop-up interview in a pop-up location with a surprise guest. In this case, two surprise guests. I am so delighted and elated to be here at New Divine Truth Apostolic Church with the Colemans. I'm catching up with the Colemans, Pastors Dwayne Coleman and First Lady Markeisha Coleman. Welcome to a CWIT session.
Thank you so very much. We're glad to be here.
I am glad to have you. And Markeisha, I will start with you by saying thank you for reaching out. She was talking about some amazing activities, events, and services coming up here in the next month. And you said you wanted my help to talk about it and spread the word?
Yes.
Okay, well, we are here. I'm ready to spread the word. But before we get into that big announcement, I want to talk about the Colemans.
Okay.
I've learned a lot about the two of you off camera, but I don't think a lot of people know the history specifically about New Divine Church. So, Pastor Dwayne, would you start with just telling everybody where we are in this piece of history and legacy that you are carrying forth in your family's honor?
My grandfather, Bishop Frank McNeil, started this. He started his ministry maybe 2 years before he purchased this property.
Mm-hmm.
He purchased this property in 1973.
Wow.
I was born in 1975, so I was born into it. After he passed, my mom pastored us for about 8 years, and then from there we started the New Divine Truth Apostolic Church by leading of the Holy Spirit, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Markeisha, you were saying there's decades-long marriage here between the two of you. How long have you been married?
Yes, so we've been married this year in September. It'll be 26 years.
Why are you looking? You want to make sure she got it right?
We just celebrated our 25th year anniversary, September the 6th and the 7th, because the 7th is when we renewed our vows.
Oh,
15
wow.
years in.
Yeah, 1997,
And
right?
then in 2012 we
Yeah,
renewed.
yep, in 2012 we renewed. So we've been married this year. It'll be 26 years.
So now, coming into marriage is already one thing, right? But coming into marriage and ministry is an even higher elevation, and I would just say a higher calling and
Yes.
a call for you to have to work together. Talk a little bit about how you all make it work.
Well, I'll say when we first started out, he wasn't a pastor, and he was just a minister. And for me, well, I ain't gonna say I was just a nobody. I was a minister's wife.
Uh-huh.
But things started catapulting. Once we got married, I believe that's when everything took off.
Okay.
We started doing things together, praying together, and just living that life. We was helping his mom. She became the pastor after her husband, the former pastor, had passed away, Elder Latrell Dumas. And so we started helping her with the ministry. But we were doing ministry work all the time because he sings as well. So he's a gospel artist, and
Yes.
he has many albums out. And so we would go everywhere ministering together. But I think when we invited Trinity 5-7 and we actually began to minister together was the first time our ministry as a whole took off.
That is fantastic. So I have to ask you, Pastor DC, did you woo her with your voice? How did you capture your queen?
I did not woo her with my voice. She has never been impressed. But that's what I was impressed with because I hate groupies.
Ah, point taken.
So, I don't mean to use the word hate. I dislike groupies.
Those who are around you simply for your talents
Right,
and want to be in the fold and the circle.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, I really didn't like church girls. So when we got together, she was pretty much a ruffian.
Yeah, it's a little hood,
A little
tomboyish.
hood.
Well, 25 years and counting, 26 years, that is amazing. And so talk to me a little bit more about how the ministry has flourished from the musical standpoint and then what we have to look forward to in March.
I believe the musical piece of it was basically a key. It took me a whole lot of places and it caused me to hook up with a whole lot of people. I always understood that wasn't the ministry, though. That was just the gift. And I always knew what was in me. I've been preaching since I was 17, so this makes about close to over 30 years that I've been preaching. I know I don't look 30 years old yet.
Oh, not at all.
Over 30 years of preaching. And, the pastoral part I didn't even really want. But, I heeded the call to that. We started this ministry in 2007, and since then we probably have pastored a few congregations of people who have come and gone, but at the end of the day, it has flourished into what we're going into in March. We were covered by the Pentecostal Church of God, the AWA, my apostolic father and mother, Apostle E.L. Moulton and Prophetess Odessa Moulton. For the last 13 years, we've been covered by them.
And when you
pretty
say
faithful.
covered, what does that mean?
That was the Pentecostal Church of God is the denomination that we brought our church into.
Gotcha.
And the AWA, Anointed Word Assembly, a fellowship that is a derivative of that same denomination.
Right.
And so how this came about was we sat down with our father and our mother, and we told them what God put on our hearts. And they willingly just released us and said, you know, we love the way you did it.
I love it.
You know,
And
you
we're
did
gonna
it
cover
right.
you, yeah.
Yeah, and we're going to cover you
They've
as
been
you
our
do it.
spiritual guidance. They've been our teachers. With the prophetic, my official title is Prophetess Markeisha Coleman. A lot of times I don't use it because I like to see where people are. I don't want people to be super spiritual. I want you to show me exactly who you are. You know.
Kiki.
Right. That's exactly.
That's what I called you when I came in.
And that's not a problem because it does, a lot of people don't know that your title is not you. You know what I'm saying? You're who you are with or without a title.
That's
you
right.
know? And so when I come to people, I want to know the real you. I want to see that person first. A lot of people, when they know you're a prophetess or that they always want to
switch it up.
Yeah,
right?
and I'll still be like, yeah, oh, okay, cool. You know, it's okay.
If you are just tuning in, I am chatting with the Colemans, Pastor Dwayne Coleman and Prophetess. No, stop. There I go. Prophetess Markeisha Coleman, right here in the city of Gary, New Divine Church Apostolic Church. And again, you reached out to me, Markeisha, because at the end of March, you all are doing some pretty incredible things. It's time to talk about them.
Yeah.
Give us the dates and who's coming to Gary.
So on March 24th, we have none other than Miss Kim Burrell coming to bring us everything she got. She's going to be our speaker for that day. The tickets are $40 on Eventbrite. The service starts at 7 p.m., but the doors will open at 6. All are welcome. I'm saying get your tickets now. They are going fast.
And where are we going to be?
We're going to be at Clark Road Missionary Baptist Church, and I believe that's on
Clark Road.
Like 25th.
Yeah,
definitely on Clark Road.
Definitely on Clark Road.
Off of 25th and Clark Road.
Yes,
So,
yes.
yeah.
Everybody knows where Clark Road is.
Shout out to my brother.
Yes.
Pastor
Ferris
Evans Jr.
My man.
Right.
So you all plan to pack the house. That's going to be an experience.
Yes.
Kim was here a few months ago, or last year.
Right.
And the response was wonderful.
Yeah.
And so I think it's time for that return.
Yeah.
What can individuals expect who get their tickets for March the 24th at 7 p.m.?
You can expect an all-out worship experience. Because first and foremost, we want God there.
Yes.
So it's going to be an atmosphere of praise and worship. It may be some deliverance going on, and however God leads Miss Kim Burrell to flow, she is open to flow.
Yes.
On the next day will be the actual launch where our apostle and our prophetess will be coming to elevate us.
Yes.
And that's at 7 p.m. at Clark Road Missionary Baptist Church as well.
So we are going to spend the 24th and the 25th over there with Ferris and them, as I would say, at the Clark Road Missionary Baptist Church. Now, how did all of this come about? Why Kim? Who's putting it together? And this just sounds amazing.
So I'll say when we first knew that we were getting ready to be elevated into this position, we went into a lot of prayer, a lot of thought, and we wanted to bring somebody here that we know is astute in the word, is going to tell the truth, and is going to really bring a word.
Yes.
And so some doors opened up through one of our bishop friends in Texas, and we said, well, hey, God put us, put Kim Burrell on my heart. I went to the concert, and I saw her minister, and it blessed my soul. And that kind of confirmed it then that, like, she is the one that we want to come and do some things. And so God opened up that door, and we walked through that door and set it up, and that's how we got Kim to come. And her manager is so down to earth.
Don't you love that?
I love down to earth people. They not all, and we need boss squatter and blah blah blah. I've done a lot of, PR stuff, and man, I ain't gonna tell on the people I was the PR for, but I've done some great things with some great big names.
Yes, and they're like
And they
room
want
temperature
smalls.
water
Yeah.
and peeled grapes.
Hmm.
And a
And
crown with some fur in the front.
oh no.
Yeah.
Well, Pastor, tell me this. What are you expecting out of March 24th and 25th, and will you bless the mic?
It is an honor and a privilege, first of all, to be able to obey God.
Oh, yes.
And then secondly, to have the support and the approval of our apostolic covering.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And for him to look at me and say, son, it would be a privilege if you would allow me to enthrone you as the presider of this new reformation.
Oh, wow.
That just blows my mind. And though I am a member of the College of Bishops, the Bishops Council of the PCOG,
Mm-hmm.
these guys love me to death. These bishops love me to death. We're all bishop brothers.
Yeah.
They don't like to see me go, but most of them are coming to support.
Mm-hmm.
And what's happening is we're not going. We're just extending the family.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just like when I got married and left home. You know, we started a
Y'all
family
cleave.
that we could bring back home on Christmas.
Right.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so that's really what it is. It's just an extension of the family.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of extensions, you all also are members of this community, right? And
Yeah.
you have day jobs, day lives.
Ooh.
Talk about your work and family.
Well, for me, I work security. I've been working security for over 25 years.
Wow.
I've had the privilege of doing security at Lake County Juvenile Corrections. That was a very great experience, and that set me up on the resume pretty much to be where I want to be security-wise.
That's great.
You know, so I am a vocational bishop. I do work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Vocational. And
Yes.
prophetess, you are?
I am a 7th and 8th grade social studies teacher at 21st Century Charter School, but I've been teaching for 12 years. I started out with at Westside. I was at Westside for 10 years. I taught choir, and I went with the arts for my last, I think it was like 6 years, like 4 and 6, something like that.
Mhm. But you're an educator by trade.
Yeah, I
which
just got
is
my
amazing.
master's degree, and
Congratulations.
the Lord allowed me to write a book called The Art of Outloving Your Spouse. I started a volleyball club called Northwest Indiana Volleyball Club. Mind you, it's the first volleyball club in Gary, Indiana.
Wow.
And if it's been one, I don't know of it.
Okay.
But we're thanking God for what God is opening up doors with that. We have a talk show called Creators Girl Talk on YouTube. We got so many things going on. My husband also wrote a book. So I'm trying to get the youth to see, you know.
Yes.
And we have children. We have 6 beautiful children.
Do you?
Yes, 6 beautiful children. They all grown up. Our twins are graduating this year, Jacinth and Judah, from Westside Leadership Academy.
Yes.
They are in the arts. So she's a dance major. He's a drum major. And I believe they have a senior night. So if you're not doing that, come out to that game on Friday and support Westside
That is correct.
Leadership Academy. So we'll be there supporting them. And it's just great to be a mom. It's great to be in the community. We want to encourage the youth that you can do it by all means. When I got my master's degree, I had 6 kids. When I got my bachelor's degree, I had 6 kids, you know. So you can do anything if you put your mind to it. If you had a great backing, you know, my
Yes.
husband backed me in everything that I was doing. He pushed me out there in the days when I wanted to cry and be discouraged because I got to do this hair and I got to do my homework and they need help with their homework. He was right there to help me. He said, okay, now y'all go over there. We're going to let mama do her work, you know, different things like that. Just to show you in the community where they say that there's nothing good that can come out of Gary.
Oh, yeah.
It's
The
plenty
lies
of
they
things.
tell, right?
Plenty of people, plenty of students, our kids, our family is coming out with our first release on March 1st.
An album
the
release?
album
The
release,
EP?
the EP.
Yep.
Yep, that's coming out. So it's a lot of things, and a lot of they sing, they dance, they flip, they play instruments.
You know what
so
you all
it's
sound
not
like?
the
A reality show.
you know
Absolutely.
You
what? I
sound like a
believe-
reality
oh my
show
God,
with
I believe
6
we could
children.
do it. The world will never be the same with the day of the Comans. I promise you.
A day
We got half
of the
comedians. We got
Everything.
sarcastic people.
We got
but
the whole
you know,
thing. That
I
was our
believe
first
that.
congregation.
Yeah, our kids were our
First congregation. Well,
Yeah.
Pastor, I will say, just listening to Markeisha and how she lights up when she just talks about her whole life, I am going to go on record to say that you all are setting the standard and empowering and encouraging someone today who may have thought, well, I have too many barriers or I have too much going on in order to achieve and pursue my goals. But having that mate to
Absolutely.
support
Yeah.
you is definitely key, and a village, a family, and people who are continually saying you can get it done. How
Yeah.
does that make you feel when she talks about you
It's a
being
beautiful
that
thing. It
backbone?
makes me blush. The book she mentioned, The Art of Outloving Your Spouse, very excellent read. I'm reading it and I'm blushing the whole time. You know,
Oh.
no matter what truths are there, some of them may be, truths that I didn't want out there, but, but I'm blushing the whole time because she made us a subject in the book. It's a beautiful thing.
Well, I'm very curious now. I need to figure out how to outlove my spouse.
Oh, yeah,
You can
everybody needs to
outlove
learn how
her.
to do that.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Because my theory is, if I'm busy outloving you and you busy outloving me, there's
We
nothing could
definitely
go
gonna
wrong.
get
That's
Nobody
a
can
word.
come between
We
because
gonna
you're
get love.
focused on each
Yeah.
other, and that's what it's really all about. It's about that one-on-one, that relationship with each other, knowing each other, and when and becoming friends first. Like we were friends first. We met like we was 14 years
Yeah, our
old.
friendship is over
And
30 years
yeah,
old.
so going back and forth, we made a decision. We don't need all these people that was, mistreating us anyway. What's wrong with us? We telling each other our problems because we stay friends no matter who we
Right.
And we like,
right here, I'm right
what's
here.
wrong with us?
Yeah.
And we both made a vow, like outside each other. We told each other later, like if we ever get back together, we will never break up again.
Ever again.
And God has done that.
Oh, this is
Yeah.
so beautiful.
Yeah,
I'm getting all teary-eyed. Amber's like, oh, she's so happy to hear a great
you know
story.
what?
Go ahead.
Might I
Pastor.
say to men that if you're married to an alpha woman such as this woman of God right here, you got to lose your pride and your insecurity because the Lord, no matter what, He designed the woman to be paraclete, helpmeet, come alongside and help. And the Lord had to cause me to realize, with all of her accomplishments and master's degrees and bachelor's and all of that, He said, this is actually the type of help you need in order to do what I called you to do. So we need to stop being in relationships with the mentality of desiring to be needed.
That's a word.
We keep women bound because we trap them into needing us. But a woman will stay voluntarily when she loves you.
Ooh, wait. Are we opening the doors of the
Come on
church
now.
now?
We open the doors because the women got a space too.
Yeah.
No matter what degree I got, no matter where I am in life, whatever, you have to be submissive to your husband. And if you are submissive to him, he'll be submissive to you.
Absolutely.
Man.
It's a revolving door.
So Kiki, prophetess Kiki, they are over here prophesying today. Can you please tell everyone, in all seriousness, how to get the book, Outloving Your Spouse?
So you can get it on Amazon. It's $15.99 on Amazon. It does have a link.
Okay.
Like you can get a digital copy is what I'm trying to say. You can get a digital copy of it as well. But if you inbox me and you say you want to book, because some of our older
I'm inboxing you right now.
our older saints, they don't know how to use some of the digital streams, and so I'll tell them, and then I'll get the book for them. But if you get it from me, it's $20.
Okay.
But on Amazon, you can put in The Art of Outloving Your Spouse, and it'll pop. Pretty much it'll pop right up, and you can order it from there.
Right. I have to circle back to one more question. I don't think you answered, Pastor, when I said for March 24th and 25th, will you all be musically blessing the mic along with Miss? Did he answer?
I didn't answer that.
You didn't answer that, right? Or do we have to go and find out? Is that what we need to do?
Yeah, let's make it that
We
way.
got some surprises.
Okay. Well, let's
Some
recap,
surprises.
Markeisha. Tell everybody, if you're just tuning in and they're like, what they talk about?
Right.
We're talking about a lot. You have to go back and watch this. But for now, March 24th and March 25th, take it away.
March 24th, we have Miss Kim Burrell coming to our pre-launch service of Creator's Word Apostolic Fellowship. There's 7 p.m. at Clark Road Missionary Baptist Church. And then we'll be in our actual launch service the next day with Apostle E.L. Moden and Prophetess Odessa Moden at Clark Road Missionary Baptist Church at 7 p.m.
Get those tickets on Eventbrite. I'll make sure I drop the link. We're going to drop a huge blast later this week. I'm going to push you with my WHITT sauce. We're going to do a little mini media tour. Let's get on the radio. Let's do some things. And I love the fact that I didn't dig too deep prior to this interview because I love to get surprised on camera. I'm sitting here with a beautiful couple of God. They're authors. They're singers. They are parents. It's just such a beautiful thing to see and very motivating for me and for our viewers. Any final words from the two of you to our viewers as we get ready to wrap up? I'll start with you, First Lady, and then you bring us home, Pastor.
I would say, as far as Gary, Indiana is concerned, in the Chicagoland area, please support the people who live in your area. You have all types of local artists. You have kids that's doing performing arts thing. The NAACP this Saturday has the Image Awards will be there performing. And so we want you all to come out. Just support your local talent and your artists. We give thousands of dollars away to other people, and you can get a better show from in Gary, Indiana.
Yes.
And love on the people. Love the city that you're in. Instead of talking about your city, what can you do to help build your city? I want to build a whole lot of things. I don't want to put all the things out there now, but there's so much I want to do. Youth flock to me for some reason. I'm stern though, but they love me, and I think that's what's missing. The real mother figure in a lot of areas is missing, because it's kids raising kids now. You don't have Medea telling you to pull your girdle up or put some stockings on or do different things. And I would just say, love on each other. The time is too short. It's easier to love than it is to hate.
Ladies and gentlemen, my new best friend, Markeisha Coleman, a fellow Gary lover. Pastor Coleman, bring us home.
I'm happy that the Lord called us to the place that we are, because in that atmosphere, He has allowed us to determine the culture. Mm-hmm. And our church has adopted a new name for Gary, Indiana. Glory, Indiana. Mm-hmm. And we want to see the city of Gary be just that, a glorious city where other cities are attracted, and other people, other kingdoms and kings and queens are drawn, just like to Solomon, to grab our wisdom, our knowledge, our understanding. The city of Gary set the standard for school systems back in the day.
Yes, I was talking about that earlier today.
The city of Gary set the city of Gary at one point was the fifth richest city in the world. And the richest city in the country. And we have that potential to do exceeding abundantly and above even that. And so I don't call it Gary, Indiana. I affectionately call it
Glory, Indiana. Oh, I love that. And it's the perfect way to wrap up another successful WHITT session. I have been chatting with my friends, Pastor Dwayne Coleman, First Lady Prophetess Markeisha Coleman. I really, really want you to share this video, and I really want you to go ahead and go to Eventbrite, get those tickets for Kim Burrell on Friday, March 24th, and then come out on the 25th to support the elevation, the covering of these two beautiful young people. This has been Chelsea Whittington of WHITT PR, a WHITT session in the books. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.